Hi Stampers, this is Dawn and today we're going to make my September thank you notes. Aren't they beautiful? So we're using this stamp set, which is brand new out of the holiday catalog, called Snowfront. We're using a bunch of images from the stamp set. And then the greeting, which is the thinking of you at Christmas, is from the Itty Bitty Christmas, which is also from the holiday catalog. All right, so let me explain a little something about my thank you notes this month. So we're still using the 4 basic colors. So I try to make my thank you notes the same, but I changed the colors. So all my customers don't get the same thank you notes. So the base colors are the Night of Navy, Early Espresso, Mossy Meadow, and then the Crumb Cake. Those are the 4 colors of the base of my thank you notes. Now, the thank you notes will slightly change, and I'm kind of leaving this up to my husband because he's the one that's going to actually make my thank you notes. I design them and then he makes them. So with the stamp set, let me show you here. You have 2 sets of trees. So you have the single trees, which are right here, and then you have like a hilltop with a cluster of trees. So that's going to be the difference on how the cards are going to be designed. So you'll see that the cluster of trees are in this one, whereas this one over here, you have the 2 trees. And that will depend on what side of the house, the cabin is stamped on as well. All right, so let me show you here. So now this is the Early Espresso. So you can see that these are the same. You got the same background with the tree, and the cabin's on the right-hand side. So now on this one here, you can see that the trees, the single trees are on the left-hand side, and the single trees are on the right-hand side. So this is where the slight change will happen. And then like the Night of Navy here, the same thing. It's just the cabin and the trees are stamped on the opposite side. Also, one other thing that will stay the same is the snowman will be stamped with the Night of Navy and the Crumb Cake. And then the deers will be stamped with the Early Espresso and the Mossy Meadow. So those are going to be the exact same on all the cards. It's just whether or not the cabin's going to be on the left or the right, and then the treescape. All right? So I'm going to make both versions with you today to show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right? So let's go ahead and get started. So the base of the Whisper White, this is cut at 2 3/4 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and I have 2 of them here. Then the next colors we're going to use are the Mossy Meadow and the Early Espresso. These are the colors that use the deer in the front of the cabin. So these are both cut at 4 by 2 1/2. Then you're going to need 2 pieces of Whisper White, and these are both cut at 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, and then the other 2 colors are the Crumb Cake and the Night of Navy that use the snowman. Okay, but we're not going to do those today. And then you'll need some scrap to stamp your greeting. So these are the 4 colors we're using, the Early Espresso. And this is how I picked my color combination for the thank you notes as well. So each one of the cards has all 4 colors into the card. So we have Early Espresso, Crumb Cake, Night of Navy, and Mossy Meadow. So these are all the stamps we're going to use from the stamp sets. Let me get them all out here. Okay, so we're not going to use the snowman, but this is what it looks like. It's so cute. So we're going to set that one aside. So we're going to start with the ground cover. And depending on how you're going to stamp your cabin, it could go either way. Let me stamp that with the Crumb Cake. And then we're going to stamp this one just the opposite way to show you the 2 ways that we can stamp this with the stamp set. It's so cute. Okay. Then we're going to stamp our cabin, which is going to be with the Early Espresso. I'm going to stamp this one. Let me stamp this one over here. Okay, and then this one's going to be over on the right-hand side. Then we're going to take the treescape. Now, the reason we want to stamp the trees on the left-hand side of the card, so like this one here, right here, is because of this is being empty. So if I was to stamp this over here, it would get that line there, and I don't want that. So I'd mainly just want the trees on the left-hand side. So we're going to use the Mossy Meadow for that. Okay. And then there's that single tree, so we're going to stamp twice with this little tree here. Okay, then we're going to take our deer with the Early Espresso, and we're going to stamp this right in front of the tree line. There's one. And then this one right here. So adorable, aren't they cute? And then we're going to take our greeting. So now depending on what color the cardstock is, so Early Espresso and Mossy Meadow. So I'm going to stamp the greeting in those colors as well. So Early Espresso. Let me clean this off. Got my Simply Chamois here. Okay, and then we're going to stamp another time with the Mossy Meadow. Okay, so we're going to take the 1.5 inch circle punch. Punch out the greetings. I'm going to pop those up on dimensionals. Okay, so I'm just going to layer these onto the card. So let me grab my snail. Okay, so where the deers are on the card, we're going to put our greeting on the opposite side of them in the matching colored cardstock. So the Mossy Meadow goes on the Mossy Meadow, and the Early Espresso goes on the Early Espresso. Just like that. Then we're going to take some multi-purpose liquid glue. You could also use your fine tip glue pen if you want that, but this works just fine. I'm just going to tap the trees with the glue, and then I'm going to color in the rooftop with the smoke coming out of the chimney, and then scribble the snow or the glue over the ground, and then below the deer. And then we're going to add some dazzling diamonds. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh, the glitter really makes it so beautiful. So pretty. All right, so there's those two. So you can see how different the treescape looks when you just switch the sides. Okay, so let me bring in all the other ones. So now you can probably pick out the different ones, because just glancing at them, they all are the same. Of course, just different colors, except for the trees. So now you can see. Aren't they beautiful? All right, so if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll have all the items listed below. And then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye.